Ready?
Ready.
God.
Rolling.
Alright. So, finally got Marlon to slow his ass down and take some time out to talk to us. This man been on the run since you made it to Miami. I don't think you slowed down since you got here. You've been in something every day, right?
It's been going. It's been going.
That's dope. So, if y'all don't know what it is, it's 2Techies. We're here at CIC on the 6th floor. Wanted to show Marlon the overview of what you normally don't see.
Get the real Miami back there.
The other side. So,
It's not South Beach.
it's the sunset over here, though. It's a beautiful sunset, though. It's a
true.
beautiful
It's true.
sunset. So, Marlon, when
What's
did you
up?
fall in love with tech?
Man, I think forever. So when I was a kid, I had a Commodore 64, I had an Atari, I had a ColecoVision, all of that. I taught myself my parents, I'm the first in my family to go to college and deal with computers or anything like that. So, my mom was a hairstylist.
Okay.
But she wanted to make sure I had everything. So she got me the Commodore 64 and I had to figure out how to use it. But that's when I got exposed to it anyway.
Okay.
And then, I went to college and I thought I was gonna be an architect. Long story why.
I thought I was going to be an engineer, too.
Man,
Didn't work out.
it was not for me. It was not for me. But, after the first year, I was like, okay, this is not for me. What am I gonna do? So I was looking around and I found this major at MIS and it was like tech and business.
Oh.
And I was like, there's something sexy about that. And I wasn't sure what it was exactly, but something just pulled me.
Nerd and money.
There you go. There you go. So that's probably the moment where it was like it really clicked. Like,
Resonated.
yeah, I need to be in tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what exactly do you do in tech and innovation? I know, but the people watching you may not know.
Now, so I invest in entrepreneurs, in tech enabled and technology companies. So, that's it.
All right. So, straight up investor, making things happen for other people. So, in your investment angle, what would you say are one of the, the strongest key points you look for when making an investment?
Oh, there's a number of them, but I think the thing that's probably the primary is I need to be inspired.
Okay.
Because it's all we invest at pre-seed, seed stage, right?
Okay.
So that's like for everybody else. That's like when the entrepreneur, they built a product and they're trying to find product market fit. So it's pretty early in the company's life cycle.
Okay.
So when it's that early, things can change a lot.
Right.
So it's got to be about the people.
So this will go into, and people that know me know I would normally ask this question. The question would normally be your favorite craft beer, craft cocktail, but since I know it's the old fashioned,
Yeah.
this is almost the same approach to how you do business. In your aspect, you really have to look in a deeper sense because you're not really just chasing dollars. Even though money can come with it, you're looking for a success, but you're actually investing into people and genuinely good ideas is what you're putting your time and money into.
That's right. That's right. So when I say inspired, I mean it on two levels. On one level, it's the actual team,
Okay.
right? The founding team, right? It's not something you can actually put your finger on
Right.
and point to it. But when you sit in the room with a truly inspirational entrepreneur, you just feel it, right? It's like,
yeah.
you want to go on that ride with that entrepreneur.
And I keep telling people, if somebody can tell if you're doing something just to make money.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
passion will burn
Yeah.
out, and it'll burn out even in your pitch. It'll burn out, especially if you know the game. You sense that in the beginning, like, all
Yeah.
right, this
Yeah.
sounded like a good money idea to you, not something you really care about.
And sometimes they can fool you.
Right.
But the thing that you can't get away from is that entrepreneurship is hard. Like startups are hard. So if you're not in it for the right reasons and stuff gets a little difficult,
Yeah.
you're gonna run. And as an investor, I can't back somebody that's gonna run for the hills as soon as it gets hard.
I've seen a lot of people buckle up when things get hard, and I'm like, you got a great idea, but if you weren't expecting a rough journey, you should have never did this in the first place.
I've seen situations where cats couldn't pay themselves for a month, right? they had to figure out put the rest of the company on minimum wage for a couple weeks. That's right. Deep. I've seen folks have to lay everybody off except for themselves, not pay themselves, just to get it rolling again. Wow. And then go. Like those are the entrepreneurs you wanna rock with, right? Because they're gonna be there. They're gonna make sure they win. Right. And you're gonna win with them. But then on the other side is the idea itself and the product itself, right? Okay. And what I'm looking for is not kind of the Me Too situation, right? So everybody says, oh, I want to do the next Uber, I want to do the next Lyft. Like from an economic perspective, makes sense. Great, right? You want that kind of outcome, right? But from a ideation perspective, right? That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for net new. I'm looking for market creators, right? So give me something that hasn't been done before, a challenge that has not yet been solved. Let's figure out how to fix that.
I remember when I changed my title to Chief of Ideation, people were like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, all I want to do is come up with ideas. I can always find somebody else a little bit more passionate to know a little bit more, but it's the next idea that I care about more than anything. Mm-hmm. So as a VC, if your VC life was based on a movie or a TV show and we plugged into you, what would we see?
That's a hard one. A movie or a TV show. Wow. We come with the hard joints today.
Hey, man. I couldn't do it to you when we was out in public, sitting all on the stoops and stuff, but in here,
I'd be like, pass. Let me see. It would probably be Grey's Anatomy.
I have not heard that one out of everybody we've talked to.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
So Grey's Anatomy or American Crime. And here's why.
Yeah, I want to know why.
Because both shows are just, the writing is impeccable.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
You get deep into each character. Like, whoever the character is, you know everything about them.
So is this a reflection of your vetting process before you give up money?
It is, right? It is, but also it's messy.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not just all, rainbows and unicorns, right?
At all.
It's like real. It feels like real life. I mean, Grey's Anatomy is kind of sensationalized a bit, but
a little bit.
Some of the stuff that happens, like how they do that, but but outside of.
But I think on the outside, when we look at you guys making investments, it's like, how did you see that? How did you know it was going to go that way? So some stuff is sensationalized for the normal person because I think some of the things you do are so common to you. Mm-hmm. You might remove some of the spectacular angles from it because it's just common practice for you.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and surgeons will probably do the same thing. Yeah, but yeah, it's really about it captures the messy, it captures the good, it captures the sensational, all of that, and it shows the work that's going into to finally being successful.
So the world sees, man, you sitting on millions. Why you not giving it to me? And we know it's not really like that, but I know that's how some people see it. So right now, beyond that. What are some of the biggest challenges or struggles that you think you're currently facing, especially with the inclusion and why we not? What are the challenges right now
that I'm facing?
Yeah. In your business life, what are some of the challenges you're facing? I
mean, so we just got off the road raising money, right? Because we have investors that put money into our fund, and it was an uphill battle at times. Just to give you a sense, right? I spent 5 years at Intel Capital. My track record is decent. Okay. And I learned how to do this thing. My one of my partners, Troy Carter, Troy's investor in Uber, Lyft, Spotify, Warby Parker, and early, and has seen a lot of great success there. Right. So you think, and then our third co-founder, Trevor, he's done some good things from a family office standpoint. So you think that that group together, just looking at our track record and the numbers, like people will be throwing money at us, like here, go do more of that.
Especially because you have an on-site vision, seed rounds, and getting in early on things like that, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. There was something a little bit different about us.
Not sure what it was. Maybe because all y'all wore collared shirts with checkers on. Maybe you should have wore a t-shirt and a hoodie.
I don't know. There was something a little bit different. So, that, convincing folks that, we would continue to do what we've done as individuals in the past.
Still have to work twice as hard, even though you got the numbers to prove it.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Now, did you reach your mark? That's the question.
We hit a good number.
Okay.
We hit a good number. We're definitely in a good position.
So, with that being said, what do you feel were one of the best milestones, if not on this trip, within the last 4 years? What are one of the biggest milestones that you feel that you hit?
It's actually not my milestones. It's the companies, right? So when I see, for instance, Deshaun at Maven, hit his numbers
Killing
for the year
right now.
Yeah, and that business is growing, and now, looking at a dude that was in the beginning struggled to raise money, now is like making decisions in terms of who's in and who's out.
So just in case y'all don't know, Maven itself is a business that works with hair extension, also known as weave, and the distribution. And what he's been able to do, from what I understand, is pretty much cut out the middleman. He's pretty much the source, and he's also helping others with direct distribution.
Yeah, so basically what he's done is he's enabled the actual hairstylist to make revenue off of the product, right? Because before, if you wanted, a weave, you go to your hairstylist, he'd send you down the street to the Korean store, you'd buy it there, you'd bring it back, and then they'd install it for you, and you'd pay them for the service. Well, now you pay them for the service, and they take a cut of the actual product that they're selling to you, and it's all done over one of these.
Man, it's the Amazon of weave. That's what I'm talking
Pretty
about.
much, right? Pretty much.
45 minutes my hair, I got to get this Brazilian put in.
Yeah. But it's those things, right?
Right.
When you see the entrepreneur just like growing in that way, and their businesses, moving in a direction that they're moving. Just today I got a kind of update from Leandrew, who runs another one of our companies, Hinge 2, which is kind of like it's in the fashion world.
Okay.
So they're doing basically allowing designers to just design, and they'll manage the storefront. They'll take care of the manufacturing. It's a whole like e-commerce platform dedicated to fashion. And in his update, his numbers are ridiculous. He's 3xing what he did last year.
Wow.
Well ahead of schedule, and it's probably gonna be more than 3x. So just watching it move in the way that you thought it was gonna move, that's like inspiring, and you get excited, right? It's like that's you're watching these guys win, right? And you're kind of you're in the back, you're kind of the whisperer.
But for some reason, other ones still just don't want to give you money.
They will.
I think people are fearful to give money to things they can't understand. Because at that point, you actually have to admit somebody is smarter than you in something.
Well, you know what it is. It's one of those things, right? You want different, right? But you don't want it to be too different, right? Because if it gets too different, it's a little uncomfortable, right? So so we have some investors that just kind of put their toe in the water a little bit, right? Let's see if this works out, and then the next one they'll probably come in heavier.
I give y'all 2 years, y'all will be going through the same thing of who y'all want to take money from.
I hope so.
That's what I'm giving you. All right, so I need your genuine response when you hear these two words: diversity, inclusion.
New hot. Right? It's just like, diversity and or I should say the emphasis on diversity comes in waves.
Right.
It always has. Like there's a few years where it's just like everyone's focused on diversity.
2 years ago it was hot at South by Southwest. That was the thing.
It was. I mean, they're still trying to do a little something, but it's not. It wasn't the same this past year, right? Someone makes a lot of noise about it, and then people get stuff in a bunch, and it's going, and they're going after it. But then it kind of dies down, and I think the problem is because they're not in it for the right reasons, right? You're trying to do it for some PR, or you're trying to make some very loud ex-politician, stop talking about you. Like, if you're doing it for those reasons, it's not going to stick. If you're doing it because you really believe that, diverse teams, like truly diverse teams, I'm talking from a ethnicity standpoint, I'm talking from a racial standpoint, I'm talking from a gender standpoint, I'm talking about discipline.
Socioeconomics, everything.
All of that, right? If you really believe that having that creates better products and drives increased revenue, and you're doing it for that reason, then you'll really do it, and it'll stick around. If you're doing it for the other stuff, it's fleeting.
I normally ask people if they had all the resources and they had to give me a pitch in 4 sentences or less to fix diversity and inclusion. I actually don't feel comfortable asking you that question. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel this is the part most people don't see. This is the part where to tell somebody, hey, you can take 100,000, you can take 2.5 million. It doesn't have to be just into real estate or restaurant or traditional things. Like, trust each other with money or seek the right people. I think sometimes it's just about exposure. I know a whole bunch of people in Atlanta. I hope they're watching this. So it's like, hey, if you're worried about your funds, call you. John Gazier has his own fund. It's different people that have funds that are, in my respect, geniuses in their own right. Because you guys have to foresee the future to be able to say, hey, this is a good product. And not that you always get it right. Nobody gets it right. We saw that in Miami. That's why we had the housing collapse. That's why we got a whole bunch of condos that's about to be sitting empty. You don't always get it right.
Yep.
But it's about taking a chance. The world is yours. You get to choose one mentor that will invest into you for a year. Open book. Who are you choosing?
Just one?
Just one. And I'm going to open it up for you. They can be dead or alive.
Dead or alive?
Yeah. Like the greatest rapper, dead or alive.
Like, I don't want to do the cliche thing.
It's only cliche if you don't mean it.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of a lot of people.
Got you.
Right. And just because of the circles that I now roll in, there aren't a lot of people that I can't get in touch with.
Even better.
So
this is about to be hella authentic.
But the one, and this is why it's gonna be cliche, right? First black president, all this stuff. But everybody wants to say that now, right?
Actually, you would have been the first person to say it on camera.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like
a lot of people have said Oprah, Musk.
People are missing out.
Yeah, I would love to sit down and just shoot ball and just talk to that dude for a solid day.
Like, he's cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's cool, but he's
cliche.
Sharp as
he got that swag. He truly got that swag.
He does have that swag.
That walk,
right?
that talk, the woman, beautiful daughters. He has the package.
And he's brilliant.
Yeah, man.
He's brilliant.
He's a poet too.
He's thoughtful, and he's measured, right? He's action oriented, but he's very measured.
I think he's going to be one of the most post office presidents to have impact because he's so young, and there's so many more years that he's going to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the fact that black don't crack, that man I think he's going to make the most impact. He got a good 30 years.
Yeah.
That I think he's going to be able to do stuff.
Yeah, and there's an initiative around wanting to help, younger folks figure it out.
I've never gave to a foundation so
huge.
fast in my life, man.
It's huge.
As soon as that site went up, I was like, where my card? I was searching around the house to go get my credit card.
It's huge.
Man.
Can you imagine, just give me a week, right? Just give me a week to just ask them, whatever.
Look, Obama, if you watching, Michelle, Melania, one of y'all watching, just call him. His name is Marlon. Just reach out to me.
Please.
I'll make it happen.
Please.
Actually, I know somebody in the White House that can probably get you a sit down with him.
That would be amazing.
You know who I'm talking to, so I ain't gonna say your name on camera. Light skin, happen to be a Capo. All right. There's always a soundtrack to life.
Yeah.
If your life was a song or an album, what would it be? See, this is what happens when you on Spotify all the time. You forget.
I don't remember the albums.
So now you're gonna have to just give me a song.
Oh man. come back to that one. Let me think about that a little bit.
All right. While you think about it, we're all in the game. How do you define your legacy? What is the legacy of Marlon when you walk away from this? It could be because you retire. It could be because God calls you home. Whatever it could be. What do you want to be your defining legacy?
When people speak about me or think about me, I just want them to be like, yo, he was approachable. He walked with humility. He was measured, and he was equitable. So, some people say I want to be like a nice guy. Like, no, I want to be equitable, right?
You.
So if it makes sense for both of us, then let's do it.
You should make that a T-shirt, man. I want to be equitable. just run up to you and see what they say. All right, man. You got to give me this song before we close it out.
It's just cause I'm blanking right now. Let's just go with Hard Knock Life.
All right, we can do that one.
Yeah, and the thought behind that. So I was born in Jamaica. Lived in Kingston in a place called Portmore. Early days of my life. Family was not well off. Parents moved to the U.S. to give me a new, to give me opportunity that they haven't had.
Right.
And then, I fought like, tooth and nail for everything that I've gotten so far. Right. Nothing was handed.
Right.
Yeah. It's the journey. You appreciate the journey when you work hard for it. So yeah.
All right. So I'll put you in the hot seat and ask you all the questions, and I got to do a part 2 to bring it back so we can talk about just some of the investment things I think people miss out on. I just want to have a genuine, no questions. I just need to talk to you. But before we close it out, go to part 2. Say one question you would like to ask me on camera. I got to answer it totally honest. Can't hold back. One question.
Wow.
If it's not, it's okay.
Should be good. No, I'm get you. So I guess at the end of the day, why this? Why are you doing this?
Man, you know what? Don Lemon is a good motivation for me.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Where's this gonna go?
When Don got drunk on camera.
Oh.
For New Year's
Eve. New Year's
Eve.
Eve.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Don still came back to work and couldn't nobody say nothing. And then I noticed he started checking people a little bit more.
He's been going hard.
And keeping it real just a little bit more.
He got Jeffrey Lord the other night.
Yeah, killed him. Destroyed him.
Wow.
Destroyed him.
Yeah.
The voice, man. I don't think we have the right voice. I think, I was telling Dante, my business partner that's behind the camera right there, Teen Summit, man. We don't have the shows we used to have to drive our youth. And I wanted people to know, I want them to hear you talk about music, that you listen to the music that they listen to, you watch the shows they watch, that we have genuine conversations. Because if people don't know, this is how we actually talk.
Yeah.
When we're drinks, yelling at each other at South by Southwest in passing, these are the conversations we have. And most of the actual technical stuff ain't even there. It's a little bit more personal, and it's just about talking. And I've told people like, oh, when you gonna go pitch tomorrow? I'm not ready. And I know this man's level, so I'm not gonna bother him right now, but I still wanna get to know him. So by the time I pitch, he'll be like, oh, I know Mike's character. I know what he's about. So if I'm into storytelling, and if I come to a product that's about storytelling, maybe it's storytelling and art, but if it aligns with something you knew I was passionate about, you're gonna be like, all right, I'll at least listen. No, and sometimes it's not to do anything but to get the critique from you. It may not be something you would invest in, but you'll be like, look, tighten it up this way. Here's 2 people to know. So I just think people don't get to see it enough. And sometimes we're always like, oh, no, don't talk to him. Yeah, I'll introduce you. So you seen, like yesterday, you saw what I did on Facebook. No, you talk to him. You make this happen. If he don't like it, it was on you. I did my part. I made the intro. That's how I am in life. So to me, this video is an intro to everybody. Now they know your name. They can Google you. They can reach out. They can stalk you the same way I had to stalk John. They can send you something on LinkedIn. They can pay the $9.99 a month to get a LinkedIn account, a premium account, so they can send you a direct message. I want to give them that opportunity. And I'm a disruptor, and I'm going to say what I feel. Because the way we make our money, it ain't this. No. I make my money off camera.
Yeah.
I make my money as a designer. So most people don't know my clients. I don't have a client listing out there. Most people don't even know our other company names. So I was like, who gonna speak up for us? candid conversations on camera talking about beer and drinking, man, it don't get no more real than this. So that's why.
All right.
And Don Lemon for getting drunk. I appreciate you for doing that. My man started at 5 o'clock. I'm starting at 3 today just for you, Don Lemon. CNN, I'm coming for his spot. But y'all, we're gonna have another part 2 to this because we only got. Oh yeah. So before we close this out and go to church, I know you've been in church and the pastor comes around and he's like, anybody want to get a final word?
Where's this going?
And Sister Johnson always turned the final word into a whole nother sermon. So Digital Grass tradition, we close out with an actual final word. One word, not a statement, not a phrase, not a sentence. It can be about how you feel about your trip to Miami so far. It could be about just how you feel about this interview. Mm-hmm. But if you can, just close us out with one word. And we'll put all the information for you guys to reach Marlon right on the site, so you'll be able to find them. But one word to close us out.
Build.
There it is. All right, guys. Thank you very much. It's another episode of 2Techies. We'll be back for the part 2. It's called The Conversation. We don't even have a name for this, but we're going to do it since Marlon here. We got about 30 more minutes. We're going to make this happen. All right.